Hey, I'm Mike Myers, and this is the Songwriting for Guitar podcast, which is geared to support songwriters and producers to gain confidence and turn pro. I bring on industry experts to help you improve and monetize your skills, engage better in the writing process, and build healthy habits to create a sustainable career that you love. Caffeinated, inspirational, conversational.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
What's up, friends? Mike Myers here with the Songwriting for Guitar podcast. And this week, we are all about Black Friday. Black Friday is upon us. There's pre-Black Friday, there's Black Friday, then there's pre-holiday, then there's after holiday, and then there's pre-New Year, after New Year. Essentially, from now until February, your inbox, your Instagram, your TikTok, you're going to be inundated with ads telling you that you need this, you've got to get this, you have to act on this. This is going to be the best thing to add into your system. Songwriters, you need this right now. Producers, da-da-da. Here's what we're going to do in this episode. We're going to talk about why you shouldn't buy. We're going to talk about if you are going to buy, what's the metric in which we need to measure to see if it is worth the investment and what you should be investing in. And then finally, we're going to talk about how can we reflect on the past year, because all of this matters when it comes to Black Friday deals. Now, the first one we have to really think about is to stop buying gear that doesn't solve a problem. We need to not buy gear, especially when the problems only practice can really solve. Practice and implementation. I've done coaching for songwriters for quite a while. And every time I get on a call with someone new, and when I see a background of nothing but like Les Pauls and different Gibsons or different Fenders and then Taylors and then Martins and Gretches and PRS and like tons of guitars, tons of gear. And then they talk about all the gear they have, all the amps and all the mics. And I ask them, hey, can you play me a song or can you send me your best song, streamable link? And either I get like, oh, I don't have one, or it's like, meep, beep, 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 meow, meow, meow. Oh, that's a problem. Because again, this is an example of where gear does not solve a songwriting problem. And at the heart of it, if we are not practicing and implementing our craft, if we are not developing at the rate that we should be, and we're relying on pieces of gear to make us feel like we're getting closer to that goal, that's a huge issue. And I get it, because when you have a piece of gear, you can hold on to it. You can look at it. It makes you feel like you're a real songwriter, that you're working hard at the craft. I got this genuine Les Paul, and it's a gold top, and it's gorgeous. Or it's like, I bought this Taylor. Did you know it's like $5,000? Or take a look at this vintage mic that is well over $9,000. There's something to be said when you hold that. It feels like you feel like you're legitimate. And there's another thing, when you are a songwriter that is confident in your structure, your process, and you can have simple gear, like maybe just the Shure mic that I'm talking on right now, and you just feel good because you know you've been building up your top lining skill, that you've been working really hard at writing, and you've gotten feedback again and again that your melodies are moving in the right direction. You were able to get into a library. You got a couple new co-writes in which you were the top liner, and they were like, that's amazing. You brought some great ideas. But you have this, just this Shure mic. That's all you need, because you realize the skill that you currently have, or that level of feeling like you're a songwriter, isn't just like a feeling. You know it's fact because your process has developed. You've been practicing. You've been implementing. Where far too often people hide behind gear. And that includes plugins. That includes plugins, because there's a multitude out there that can make you feel like you're great. Like, we got the best mixing software. I got all of Isotope, and it's amazing. It's going to be so good. The mixes are going to be awesome. The mixes are going to be awful if you don't have good song structure. So remember, at the heart of it, You can't hide behind gear and plugins for problems that really only implementation and practice can solve. Now, let's say you're already at that stage where you're developing and you do want to fund. How do you know what to get? This is where I want you to think of Black Friday a little bit differently. I want to go away from gear and ask you, what are things that you can get that can cut down your time? We're always thinking about how we can save money. How can I save a little bit more? How can I get the best deal, paying little, as little as possible? But sometimes that also means that we might be trading time. When I look at Black Friday, especially certain things, I'm like, is there anything that I can get that could also help me buy back some time? And this is where I think courses and coaching are wonderful. Courses and coaching help you refine the process, tighten it, and essentially shave off time. Shave off time so that, let's say, again, top liner, you are someone that is not bad with vocal melodies, but you want to develop it at a level where you can compete with other artists, that you can compete with other songwriters, that you can start getting into more libraries, that you could start coming up with ideas quicker, that you don't have to spend as much time as you currently are trying to come up with some ideas, but instead they flow from you. It's a lot easier because you know that there's a clearer process on how to do it. Well, guess what? That means you either need to take a course related to top lining and implementing literally everything that they're telling you. You may need to get on with a coach that is specifically geared towards what you're trying to do, top line, producing, whatever it is, so that they can help you refine what you have, tighten it up so that the duration that it takes you to create gets shorter, 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 shorter. And before you know, you can create more because it's taking less time to make something. People are always mystified, I think, especially in songwriting, that they need to, the longer they take, the better it's going to be. Rarely do I see that, and rarely do I hear that. Yes, we can look for that little tiny gem. I saw this article with Jimmy Joe, and he said it takes him 24 years to write his best song, or he's been writing his best song his entire life. I get it, but what you don't see with those people at a higher level, they have to write less now, and what they're already producing they know is going to be great, so how can they make it even better? You are still at the beginning of your journey, and you did not see where they were at the beginning of their journey. They had to write a lot very quickly, and they had to refine it very quickly so they could get to a level where they could take their time a little bit more and write less, because they knew the quality of what they were going to write at the very beginning was pretty good, but they need to refine it even more to get to the level that they need to compete. So, what we want to do in our Black Friday deals, does it save us time? Is it going to allow us to buy back time? Time is the most important commodity, period. It is more important than money. I will invest and I will buy things if I know it's going to save me time. It's going to refine my process. I still do coaching. I still love courses. It's something that I know makes my process and system, not only as a songwriter, but as a friend, as a husband, it has ripple effects in all those areas. So this year, I want you to really think, instead of just gear, plugins, are there courses and coaching that you could do to buy back time and get you to where you want to go quicker? The last bit I want to talk about is a bit that we always skip over. I think everybody skips over, and this is the reflection part. We need to understand our buying habits and the things that we've bought in the past this year. We also need to reflect on our growth and where we want to go, because that will indicate and define where we're going to allocate funds and money. If we don't do that, we could, be buying a lemon. You may buy a $500 mastering plugin and there's no need to. You may get like this huge sample pack of sounds and they're wonderful and they're awesome, but you don't write for that genre. You get 2 amps and they're basically both doing the same thing. So you have to ask yourself this year, what have you bought gear-wise? And how often do you use it? I mean, really use it in your workflow. Like if you take it out, it creates a little wrench in the chain. Like you're like, oh, that was such a huge part of it. Probably not. There's probably a lot that are paperweights right now sitting around that you're also considering, maybe I should put this on reverb.com and save a few bucks and maybe just get some money back. Here's the thing. It happens. That's okay. This is the no judgment zone. I'm just saying, just recognize it. Where it starts to become a problem is when it's just repeatable and you realize you sold it, then you buy something else and then you sell it again. You buy something else, you sell it again. That's where it becomes sloppy a little bit. And we have to realize, again, we might be buying some gear, or the gear we bought in this year has just been to make us feel a little bit better. Feel like we're doing something, feel like we're moving, because we're a little discouraged and we don't know what to do. So if we just get this gear, it'll start to solve the problem. Again, only practice and implementation can really solve the problems, those greater songwriting problems. Very rarely does gear help. It does for maybe a millisecond. And the more gear you buy, the less of an effect that it has. Now, if you realize too this year, hey, I've been writing a lot more in insert genre and less in this. I've been doing more of X and less of Y. That's going to also help indicate where you should be investing your funds. Because if you don't reflect, you might end up buying a course that's great. It's all about how to market yourself to young country pop artists, and so that you can get cuts and ins with publishers. And then they've got an amazing series with, Shane McAnally, and you hear, something from Ashley Gorley. That's a problem if you're not interested in that realm and you're like, oh no, and there's no returns. But had you spent that money instead on developing, better songs for licensing and understanding how production music works, that might be better. So this moment of reflection is really, how do we make sure our buying power is super strong and that we're focusing it on the areas that we need to focus, and that we are acknowledging some areas that may not need to be invested right now, or we might have jumped the gun a little too soon on some of these things. We're not going to sell them right away, but we're going to just see, is it better if we just kind of hold off? Now, this is all to say, I think Black Friday is wonderful because as you develop your craft as a songwriter, producer, top liner, whatever realm, there are amazing deals out there. And the reason I don't usually get on and tell you about all the companies that you should buy is because I don't know what you're trying to do with your songwriting all the time. I don't know what realms you want to go into. I don't know what role you play in your writing all the time. But I can give you some clear rules and a little bit of a process to help you filter out where to best invest your money and where to actually maybe pull it back just a little bit. I hope in the reflection too, you start to go like, hey, here are some things that are working and here are some things that might need improvement. Because if you just do that alone, you will be in a better position moving into the new year. So that being said, Godspeed on your Black Friday journey. I hope you take this episode to heart and you implement some of the things that I'm telling you. And remember, there's lots of good things out there, but at the heart of it, having a clear process in your writing will always serve you. Understanding what role you serve in the songwriting will always serve you. Understanding the realm in which where you want to go, publishing, sync, writing for yourself and releasing your own stuff, the better idea you have of that too, style, genre, what you're trying to create will always serve you better than any piece of gear. Gear should only enhance what's already there. It will not help you or get you there quicker. And if you've got a process, great gear that is chosen correctly will help that speed up that process even more. What I will say this Black Friday, if you are someone who is like, okay, I want to start getting into some coaching. I do want to, or at least explore what my options are. Right now, right below me, you can book your foundations call. It's completely free. This is where we evaluate where you are currently, what you're trying to do, and what's holding you back. And then from there, we pair you with the right coach so that you can start excelling. You can start fast tracking so that you can start buying back the time, so that your time at creation, especially in that zone of genius in your songwriting, gets shorter and shorter and shorter, that you can leverage that skill with others. So right below, if you're watching this on YouTube, just click the button Foundations Call. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, if you just scroll down this description, you'll see Book Your Foundations Call. Click it, completely free. You will get a better idea of where you should be going and what's working for your songs and where you need improvement. And that does it for this week's episode. Thank you for watching. Here's the thing. If you're on YouTube right now and you have yet to like and subscribe to our channel, be sure to click the subscribe button. You'll get notified every time we have a new video. And remember, this podcast comes out weekly, so just click that subscribe button. I'm Mike Myers. Thanks for listening.